Weather. Here is Chief Meteorologist Aaron Ayers, sponsored by Jim Bass Cars and Trucks.
All right, so we're turning a little more dry for us here in the Concho Valley over the next 7 days. And I say a little more dry because there is a chance that we could see some isolated showers, but we're going to be experiencing mostly dry conditions for us in the week ahead. Remaining in the 80s for us here in the Concho Valley, lows in the 60s overnight. And we're watching Hurricane Sally in the Gulf of Mexico right now, and a strengthening hurricane at that. But here in the Concho Valley, we're sitting at 81 degrees out at Mathis Field here in San Angelo, humidity at 41%. Winds out of the northeast at 10 miles per hour, and there are some clouds out there, but some sunshine as well. Temperatures across the Lone Star State: 80 up in Amarillo, 78 in Lubbock, 78 in Midland, 81 here in San Angelo, 90 in Austin, 91 in San Antonio. Many of us dealing with the upper 80s, though, across the Lone Star State, and many of us here in the Concho Valley in the upper 80s to low 80s at Grape Creek at 80, Robert Lee at 80, at 80, and 82 over in Ballinger, 83 down near Fort McCavitt and Bernard as well. So we're seeing some of those 80s across the board here in the Concho Valley. Looking at the national clouds and radar right now, we're seeing Sally out here in the Gulf of Mexico, not too far from land, but it's a very slow moving system and a strengthening system. But here across the Lone Star State, seeing some showers out to our west in the Big Bend region of Texas, and then clouds for here in the Concho Valley, just on the edge of those clouds here in the Concho Valley. But rain-wise here, not seeing anything on the radar here in the Concho Valley, seeing some light showers off to the west towards I-20, out towards Midland, Odessa area. But here, things are dry, and they're going to remain that way for us overnight tonight and into tomorrow. This week, we're going to see mostly sunny conditions, highs in the 80s for us as we go into the week. Some clouds will be in and out of the Concho Valley for us. But then, once we get to Thursday, we're watching for some isolated showers here in the Concho Valley as we go into Thursday and into our Friday. Highs remaining in the 80s for us as we go into next weekend. Things turn sunny for us here in the Concho Valley. Highs back into the upper 80s as we go to Saturday and into Sunday. And then by next Monday, remaining dry for us here throughout the Concho Valley. Temperatures as we go through the days ahead, 80s for us here across the Concho Valley. This model is our GFS model and showing upper 70s for us on Tuesday. I think we're going to be a little closer to 80 in much of our communities as we go into Wednesday, getting into the upper 80s, maybe even possibly low 90s for us. As we go to Thursday, talking about 80s once again across the board for us. And then into Friday, remaining in those 80s for us here across the Concho Valley. Here's Hurricane Sally, and this is a strengthening hurricane here in the Gulf of Mexico this morning. It was just a tropical storm. Then by 11 o'clock, it was a Category 1 hurricane with 90-mile-an-hour winds. Now it's a Category 2 storm with 100-mile-per-hour winds. Pressure at 987 millibars. West-northwest is where it's moving very slowly at 6 miles an hour. Think about driving your car at 6 miles an hour. That's not very fast at all, and seeing this large cloud feature here on satellite imagery here, so seeing that as well. Expected to make it up to 110 miles per hour wind speeds by Tuesday afternoon here, and that's still a Category 2 storm as it comes in somewhere between Mississippi and Alabama, so that means our impacts here in the Concho Valley are basically going to be nada from this storm. As for tonight, we'll get down to around 60 degrees, mostly clear conditions overnight tonight, winds out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For our Tuesday, getting upwards of 86 degrees, mostly sunny conditions, winds out of the north at 5 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the next 5 days here in the Concho Valley, here's what we're going to expect. Mostly dry conditions for us, exception being Thursday, a slight chance of an isolated shower here in the Concho Valley. Temperatures still remaining in the 80s. And as we go into our weekend and beginning of next week, temperatures still in the 80s, getting close to 90 by next Monday with sunny conditions. We'll be back on KSAN News.